It's a beautiful new day, Loctite 240. Had this for years. Boy, I'm old. I've had a lot of things for years. Best if used by 2004. Yeah. Bought this at a garage sale. It's a snap-on. It says CDI torque, but I think it says snap-on in the box. Pretty fancy torque wrench for 35 bucks. I had a lot of nice tools that day. I am torquing the flywheel to the crankshaft with a fancy grade 8 bolts with the reinforcing ring. And the only way to hold the flywheel in place is to use my long Made in USA Craftsman bar. And I put my foot on it like that. And where do I put the camera? Maybe over here. And I put this on here and push my foot down on the bar. This is supposed to be 40 to 50 pounds. So I guess 45 if it's 40 to 50. And just crank them a touch more. That's for clean, lightly oiled threads. And I put some Loctite on. Click. Use my finger on the ratchet area to stop the bolt ratchet from sliding off the bolt. This deep socket. There. All done. Now the pressure plate has to go on, and there's some spray paint there to show where these go together, because the worn out reconditioned pressure plate that I bought off eBay from a Corvair vendor was machined right to the edge of its useful life. Should be a nice thick step there. Now what's interesting is this wasn't cast properly or machined properly, because there's no step here at all. I'll rub something against it. I like this razor so much, I bought the company. Speaking of which, I went to the salon today and had a shave and had what's left of my hair cut. Paid $12 plus $3 tip, 15 bucks for what took 15 minutes, which sounds like 60 bucks an hour if she saw people the entire day, but that's not the way it works. Right down to the end of its useful life. Yep, machined right down to the letters. Now I got a 6-puck ceramic clutch. I thought I had that in the Spyder before, but I never saw the parts. I ordered it from a shop in San Diego area, and this is probably a Kevlar or a ceramic. This is a 6-puck brass. What do they call this now? I forget. This looks like your average clutch that they use in 99.9% all vehicles, and it worked well until I got some oil on it, because that seal right there was leaking in the new differential. I wonder if it's the wrong seal. A little late for that, huh? So this looks worn out, or maybe half worn. Not much meat left between the clutch and the rivet. Probably don't have much more than 5,000 miles on this clutch. Guess I slipped it a lot. Clutch should last 150,000 miles, not 5,000. 150,000, 275,000, 250,000 kilometers. And I've probably got 8,000. It's not worn out, but it was slipping under pressure. So I thought it was one of these, but it's not. It's one of these. It's a high performance one, but now I'm going for the ultimate high performance. This is going to be grabby. Luckily I don't drive it a lot. And the longer side, the snout side, goes towards the release bearing, which goes on the other side of those springs. If you do it this way, you get no clutch action at all, because the snout will hit the flywheel. And you wouldn't believe how many people make that mistake. This one's stamped in it on the short side, flywheel side, but you can barely read it. I've taken to wearing glasses to read fine print. That way I can spin or engage, whatever the case is if you're pushing your foot down on the clutch. Put it this way, and it's never going to disengage, or never going to engage rather. I've got to put some oil on that bushing. It's an oil light bushing, which means it absorbs oil. I did have a bad leak, but all the oil went out, not in. So I'm going to put a little bit of lubrication on that pilot bushing, and that holds the main shaft, not the main shaft, the output shaft. Or is it the input shaft? Sends the power from those splines to there, and then it comes back and goes to there. It's very uncommon to have a long shaft like that, but the Corvair has the transmission behind the differential, not in front, behind. So you get some springy setup in that bar when it twists a little bit. And it's light duty, made for small engine. This is small car stuff. Doesn't work too well when you put a V8 in the back seat, or wherever you put your V8. So a little bit of lubie on there. Maybe I'll use this stuff. Loctite. I don't think so. And then I'm going to put this together. I'm going to look for my paint mark that my balancer in California sprayed on. The paint mark is right there. I'm going to bolt it all up, torque it to 20 foot-pounds, and hope it's a good rebuilt pressure plate, because these have a bad reputation for Chinese springs breaking. I already had one break. When I first got the 64 Monza back from California, it lasted 1,000 miles, 1,600 kilometers, and one of these fingers broke. They should last a lifetime. Nope. I'm going to check these also, make sure they're torqued to 20 foot-pounds with the torque wrench. So a little bit of oil in there. Those are torqued. Put the bolts in. Put my shaft, and that's my guide shaft. Make sure the clutch is in the middle, because everything has to line up. Then I'm going to put some bolts through here and line this up and not nick that seal. It's not nicked now, but it was definitely leaking. I'd put in oil, it would come pouring out of that weep hole right there. I've got a new seal right here that I've had for 30 years, 1985. Early input seal. Seems to work. Made in USA. Federal Mogul. Southfield, Michigan. Contents made in the USA unless otherwise indicated below.